Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
PremierBilliards.com. Exceptional cues, cases, and accessories from top-tier brands. Want it? Need it? Find it. PremierBilliards.com.
Michael Panozzo, sir, good morning.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, Mike, that's for sure. I feel like we've been just doing a lot of shows lately. I'm kind of like knocking the rust off a little bit, but I'm excited for this guest, Mike. I want to, usually we only talk to guys after major wins. And so I was kind of on the fence whether or not to even bring this guy on the show, I was
but it's
just
always
going back
good to
and forth.
talk to a sleep-deprived, tournament winner because you always get good stuff out of them.
I think the exact quote that we got before we went on air was, "I'm not sure what country I'm in." So it's a good way. It's a good way, if any, to start the show. World Pool Master Champion Fedor Gors. Fedor, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey guys, glad to be back.
Yeah. So you had a rough trip from Germany to Scotland, did you?
Well, I made it rough myself because after the finals, I got back to the room around midnight, and I booked myself a flight early morning.
The
next day,
totally wired.
I was answering all my messages, and then also my Facebook got hacked like 4 or 5 days before, so I spent like 2 hours talking to an Indian guy from Facebook support for 2 hours. But he helped me and he got my page back, so at least it paid off that I didn't sleep that night. So I got the metro bus, picked up myself at like 5 a.m. in the morning. So I slept a little bit on the bus, but
Jeez,
it was sleepless.
I thought, when you said you hadn't slept, I was like, oh, good for him. He went out and he partied all night. He stayed on the phone with the guy. Instead, he stayed on the phone with a guy from India talking about his Facebook page.
Yeah. It wasn't much party.
No. Well, it's probably better than that. You were just tired and not hungover, because that would have been even rougher.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there was no after party, no popping bottles, no nothing out in Germany.
No, it was the European tournaments they're a little bit different. The U.S. Open after party, Moscone after party.
Yeah.
That's a different atmosphere. I think the European tournaments, they're more quiet, and we also played in like a village type of place.
Right.
So it was more quiet.
Yeah. No, that's all right. That's right. So let's go back to the event itself. You said you hadn't felt anything like that, even the World Championship, because the World Champ, we know when you won the World Championship,
it was different back then.
Yeah, it's a little bit flat in terms of the atmosphere and the whole production and all that stuff. What made this so different?
Well, everything is different. Also, my big win was more than 4 years ago.
Right.
So that's a long time ago. If you consider, it really depends which tournaments you consider big tournaments and important tournaments.
Major tournaments is major.
Yeah. So it really depends. But if you look at all the Metro tournaments, that's my first one that I won.
Yeah.
But for me, what was special is it doesn't really matter how many Metro tournaments I win, how many World Championships I win. I don't really have that as a goal. It's just something that I want to achieve. But if I don't, then I still feel myself as a complete player.
Right.
Even if I don't win one. So for me, it was different because before the tournament, I didn't feel myself. I didn't even feel going to the tournament because I had some technical issues. I wasn't sure if my game is even okay to go, and just wasn't confident on the table at all. Like I got there and practiced the very first day. I felt like shit on the table. I was depressed, and it's funny how everything was changing every day. Like the very first match, I start out rough, making few mistakes, and then suddenly I make a a tougher shot, and then the confidence starts growing a little bit,
right.
and then it just went on from there. Like met the match with Mario. I'm just glad that from the beginning I started making those shots, and that just kept me going into the next match. And then the match with Albin, I started out good, had the lead from the beginning, and then that lead me to the next day. So I was practicing, twice a day, trying to improve day by day, and that's what basically happened. It's this win is kind of incredible for me.
Yeah.
Came from
What
nowhere.
What would you say? What was, when you were at home? You were in Russia before you went there, seeing your parents and seeing your mother and everybody. When you were playing, practicing, what was wrong with your game? What was missing? You said some technical issues. What can you trace it
Yeah, I
to?
mean, it's really not something that I want to share, but just a few things that I had to tweak, and
Yeah.
some tweaks that I made before the tournament actually had a positive impact on my game, and some things that I added I needed to get rid of. So it's also a good experience for me to experience it during the tournament and actually win, because usually you experience that and lose.
Yeah.
Uh, so it worked out kind of perfect.
So, sorry, Mike. I just want to ask one more question. The follow up to that is we saw a picture of you with Johan at the end. At what point did Johan come into the tournament, come into the picture, and was he part of any of your discussion in trying to fix what was wrong?
Uh, Actually, it was a surprise for me. He messaged me. We started messaging maybe on the first. Actually, I messaged him first because I wanted to go to him. That was my backup plan, kind of, because I thought, if I'm not doing good in this tournament, I'm just going to fly to Johan, spend a few days with him, because I didn't see him for over a year, and we haven't really talked much. So maybe it's a good time to, get back to him and practice and ask those questions that I can't solve by myself before I'm going to Scotland. So I told him, that's a backup plan in case I'm losing. I'm flying to Belgium or whatever, and we're doing a small boot camp. He said, okay. So then I started winning and winning and winning, and he messaged me, well, maybe I should just come to you, and if we don't spend time together practicing, then we'll at least see each other, and maybe we can discuss something. So he showed up the last day, and I made him a coach pass, and he spent time in my corner. He was spotting balls for me, and helped him every way he could have. So he really helped me that day. He gave me that extra push, and he gave me a few pep talks in between the racks. That's something that I needed, especially playing Josh in
Yeah.
front of the German crowd. It was a tougher task than playing any other player.
Yeah. Great.
Rewind a little bit, Fedor, when you're first getting going and you're introducing a coach into your life, and what has Johan meant to the success that you've been able to build over the course of your short career?
Well, Johan was probably the biggest influencer in my career. He was a national coach for Team Russia from 2015 until 2017, I believe. So he was coaching our national team for 2 years. And then I got fortunate to spend a few more years after that working with him individually. So I was flying to him before big tournaments. We're doing boot camps, and then he was flying to either US or Russia, doing boot camps with me individually. Big impact, my stroke, my technique, understanding of the game, what's right and what's wrong, all came from him. It's not something that I developed by myself or learned by myself.
Yeah.
It's something that I soaked the knowledge from him, and I'm very thankful and feel fortunate, to meet people like this in life.
It's funny, you talk about it coming full circle for you for the tournament. Matchroom posted that reel of you, dogging balls before the tournament started, where you're kind of like jacked up on the rail, and you two railed, I
Well,
think, like
that's
five or
funny
six
how they
balls.
do it too. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm having fun. we're recording for like 25 minutes with Adam, and I'm having fun and just thinking he would be cutting it off, and then he just like, come on, Adam.
Yeah. But it's funny how
got,
it comes all together, because you go from that to playing in probably one of the best finals in Masters history, especially against Josh, because it being against Josh in Germany meant a big difference as far as the quality of it for me anyway, just from like enjoying it as a fan. But to go from that to the ending, it's pretty poetic, man.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, people act like it matters that I missed balls for 5 or 10 minutes before the match, or fucking around doing content with Match. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You talked about the Mario match. You talked about the Alvin match. Then, of course, you had the Jason match.
Yeah.
And that's that everybody was looking forward to that, because we remember Hanoi, we remember things like that. Was there extra motivation when you played Jason? Did you have to, did it affect your focus at all? Did you worry about it at all?
I think if it would have affected my focus if I, stayed online and would have just read all the bullshit on Facebook. But I'm just glad that Matchroom and Adam, they warned me. They're like, we're trying to boost this match, and we're trying to create,
A buzz, yeah.
extra buzz around this match. And they told me basically, if you want to stay out of, just don't open your phone, and that's what I did.
Just open your phone, just stay off of Facebook for
yeah. Don't go on tilt.
That's what I did. That's what I did, and it kind of helped. I didn't really think
Caught up
about
in any of it,
anything other than my game. And
yeah.
of course, there was extra motivation because one, it's a big match. Semifinal goes to the finals of a tournament that I never even passed the quarterfinals in, I think. So of course that match was a big match, and that I had an extra motivation and extra I would say warriors
Yeah.
had before the match. But
yeah.
I believe the semifinal and the final, the quality of the game wasn't as high as the first two matches,
Right.
but as they say, win is a win. And
right.
like I said before, I'm just glad I can gain the experience I gained from those two matches and end up winning them, which is incredible.
Yeah,
you faced a lot of adversity, especially in that final, Fedor. Josh I think you were up like 10-8. Josh goes up, I think 12-10 on you. What was going through your mind is
I
what was
up 10-8, broke, and I had a ball laying in the pocket. I had to play combo, and I played stun shot, tried to force it to the other side, hooked myself, jumped the ball, missed it, left himself. I was getting so many rolls in the last two matches. It's kind of crazy. After the break, I had a lot of easy layouts. Maybe I was breaking better than the rest of the field, but at the same time,
maybe.
I was getting some love as well. But yeah, after being up 10-8, he cuts the crazy thin three ball in, and I never get to shoot until I'm down 12-10.
What were you thinking when you're sitting in the chair, Fedor?
Well, I was thinking that how big of an idiot I was that I played it the way I played it, that combo. But well,
do you really think about the decisions like that when you're sitting there?
Well, I mean, you can only think about things that you did wrong. I mean, it's not that you can think. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me to think what Josh can do or can't do, because I don't have any impact on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, against Josh, you just can't allow yourself any mistakes. It doesn't even matter if both players are playing bad or good. He can always turn that crazy good gear. It doesn't matter what time of the match. Like both players were playing equally, not so good, but then for 3-4 wrecks, he started playing like a
Josh.
rocket. Yeah.
Then at 12-10, he broke dry. You ran out. Then you had that long safety battle back and forth when it was 12-11.
Massive.
That was the biggest wreck of the match. 12-11.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember the exact shots.
There were a lot of them.
there were a lot of them, and he also had the opportunity to make the ball and missed it.
Right.
And I believe I jumped and I got a roll. Then he finally sold out, and I ran the rest of the balls. And,
he tried to cut the ball, didn't he? Try to cut it thin.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was tough. Yeah. The and then at 12-12, you broke. Beautiful break. From the 1 to the 2 was the shot. From the 1 to the 2
be honest, the break wasn't good. Like I watched the replay. I didn't realize it when I broke the balls, but I actually saw it today. I didn't make the wing ball. I didn't make the one. The wing ball got kissed in,
kissed in.
I got lucky as hell because I didn't break the balls good in the finals at all. Like before that 3 matches, I was making the one consistently. But for the finals, maybe the table was more had more play in, and the break changed a little bit. Maybe the humidity changed because there was more people for the finals as well. But I wasn't making the one as consistent as I was in previous matches, so there was a big difference.
But going from the 1 to the 2, you had a couple of options. What were you thinking going from the 1 to the 2?
Well, honestly, I didn't have too many options because if I would have had a bigger angle, I would have just drew the ball.
Right.
Because that's the easiest option. But I didn't have that option because the angle wasn't there. Like I had to, even the shot that I made, I had to use side spin and cheat the pocket in order to create that angle. So what I was thinking, I could have played it harder and kind of run into the balls, and then take my chances of getting a shot.
That was the other option that I thought of. Yeah.
Or playing safety. As long as you're at the table, seeing the ball, heel, it's all you need, honestly. But then I also thought, do you want Josh at the table playing? Doesn't matter what shot. Doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
Shot.
Right.
So I just took my chances and kind of gambled on my cue ball because, of course, if I play this shot over and over and over, I'm not going to have that same position every time. So that was a little bit of a gamble, especially on new cloth and slick balls. It's a really tough shot to perform, and
you hit it perfect.
Maybe it's luck, maybe it's not. Everything worked out the way it worked out, and I'm just glad it did.
What did
once you got? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what did Josh tell you after the match? Y'all had a brief exchange there before you celebrated.
Yeah, I mean, Josh acted super cool. I actually didn't expect that. It's a really tough match to lose, and I'm not sure if I would, in his position, I probably wouldn't be as cool. But he acted. I was completely surprised. He acted classy. He said, "Congratulations, you deserve to win. Incredible achievement." And I don't even remember what he said, but I was just shocked the way he reacted.
He did. He was great after the match, even in the interview. But I want to go back to that final rack. After you got on to 2 and you made the 2, the rack was pretty simple from that point on, it seemed like. So at that point, what's going through your mind? How do you hold yourself together from not getting ahead of yourself, not thinking about the last ball, not thinking about this is such an easy run out. If I mess this up, I'm going to shoot myself, whatever. Well, really, I mean, that stuff goes through my head. So I'm trying to think about what a player at the table, what actually goes through their head at that moment.
Well, I think we're all human. We're all thinking kind of the same. We're all thinking the same. We're all thinking, well, fuck, if I mess it up, and sometimes you do, and then you think, fuck, if I do that again, then it's even worse. Yeah. I mean, I think after I made the 2 ball, I went back to my chair and I drink a little bit of water. But you also have to do it quick because you're on a shot clock, and I also used my extension on the very first ball.
Right, you did.
So I didn't really have too much time to get myself back together. But what helps me the most is just breathing. If I breathe right, then I don't feel as much pressure. My heart rate is lower,
Yeah.
and
Massive.
yeah, I feel that my mind is more clear that way as well, and that just comes from the experience. I think you gotta lose those matches when you don't get out and experience and analyze what happened, what went wrong, why that happened, and you learn from those mistakes, and
Yeah.
that's how you get out in those situations. Like that's how
Yeah.
you focus more, regroup, and pay attention to
It seems
every
like players have to mess up on that first to learn how to do it right the second time.
Well, you had a heartbreaking loss against Josh just last year, wasn't it? Was it Hill or close to the end of a match in a major?
I've had a lot of big matches like this that I lost
Yeah.
against Josh. I missed the 9 ball to win in Fulda last year. I
FSR.
messed up against FSR. Messed up against Jason in Hanoi.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of matches, and some people don't remember them, but I do, and that's how you learn from
But
it.
you learn from it though, Fedor, right? Like you try to take the positives out of it.
Yeah, there's no reason to take negatives. If you take negatives,
Yeah,
you don't learn from it. It's just gonna
yeah.
happen over and over and happen.
But I mean, like it's easy to say that versus like actually trying to keep it pushing you forward versus just weighing on you. Like it's
Well,
easier to
definitely.
say it in conversation, but I mean, you kind of exercise some demons there. Did you feel like you got the monkey off your back finally, getting a big win like this on a major stage?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I didn't feel like I fed a monkey. Like I said before, I didn't really have a goal to win a certain tournament. I
Yep.
didn't have a goal to win a matchroom event. I didn't have. My goal was just to to get better, to get my game up, and just to become better on the table, off the table, to you know make my career longer uh,
Yeah.
by exercising, being active physically, eating
Yeah.
right, doing whatever off the table I can to make it
That's,
a little bit longer.
How,
that's
how does
very
that
good
exercise?
perspective. Yeah.
How does that exercise help you when it comes to that breathing you were talking about? Because I know
We checked it.
I know for me when I'm working out, breathing is massive. You know what I mean? Like when I'm really struggling to get through walls or certain exercises, that breathing technique and being able to maintain it really
Well,
helps.
as you can see, I'm not a huge guy. I don't work out that much. I don't lift weights. I don't really do all the exercises where breathing is a big part of it. I'm more
You're
of
not exactly looking at two Olympians here either, so don't worry about it.
a
Yeah, I got a similar build.
yeah. Well, I'm more of a cardio guy and
Yeah.
stretching, and it's also something that I need to pay attention more now because sometimes you're getting lazy, especially after wins like this. You're like, okay, now I won. What's next? And when you don't have that goal, it's even tougher because
Yeah.
you didn't have a goal. Basically, you don't have to change anything. But
Yeah.
also, when you have that goal, I think it's even worse. Like you have a goal of winning the Whirlpool Masters, you win it, and then you're like, well,
Let
I
down.
achieved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, there's pros and cons and everything, and I'm just working on and trying to get better every day.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
The when I was watching the final and it was you and Josh and it was 12-10, it was 12-11, it was 12-12. My mind immediately went to this is what I want to see at the World Pool Championship with $250,000 on the line. How much different would that last rack be?
Uh, I don't
Or would it be?
think for me or for Josh. I mean, the prize money. Yes, there is a difference, but I don't think it's that much different. Like,
Yeah.
I think the title that what makes a difference.
This makes it more nervous. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I will be more nervous. I will have more pressure just realizing that the title is just much bigger. It has more meaning. The money is not so much. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it definitely would be a little bit different, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine myself being more nervous, to be honest, but
Yeah.
it's possible, I think.
Well, I hope we find out.
I hope we don't.
Where would you clock your game at, Fedor? Like on a percentage scale, where do you think you're at right now?
I mean, you guys would be laughing, but I don't think I played my B game. I think it was like a C game this time, and there's a lot of things that could be improved. I just think a lot of rolls went my way, and I made tough shots in the important moments. I've had tournaments where I played a lot better and lost in round 1 and 2, and sometimes that's the game goes, and you play worse and win tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
being
That's
honest.
the way it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm not really in a celebrating mode, because I know that there's a lot of tournaments coming up, and I'm just trying to stay focused on what needs to be improved in order to keep winning.
All right. Well, let's talk about the important thing finally. Let's talk about how great it was seeing your family and being back in Russia for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean it was unbelievable. Probably the best decision I ever made to come back to the family. Also, the guys. I don't know if you know them. ABN Billiards.
Yeah.
They used to have a dream challenge
I
where we
remember.
played
Right.
Team Russia against Team USA. So them guys, two brothers,
Yeah.
that were like kind of mentors for me from the beginning of my career. They helped me out with the table, and I installed the tight diamond in Christina's house. So I was practicing before I flew out for a week. So that helped me a lot because we don't have tighter tables in Russia, and even though we have one of the best pool rooms you can imagine of, with diamonds and great food and
I remember it
just
looked beautiful in that room. Every time you would see it live.
yeah, it's an amazing room. I think it's probably one of the best pool rooms there is in the world. But the pockets are massive. It's right now you think it's massive, but when they opened, it was the regular size. That's what everybody used to play on, and they
Right.
they don't change, for obvious reasons. So they sourced me with a table. Thanks a lot to them, and I was practicing for the last 7 days. But before that, I was spending time with family, seeing friends. It was just great. Seeing my hometown and
Get some home cooking.
well, honestly, not a lot of that. I went out to eat every single day. Moscow
But
has some of the best food you can. It's kind
well,
of
that's
like
kind of what I
Europe.
meant was you get that food from Moscow again. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of European food, and in Russia, it's like a mix of everything. It's kind of like
Yeah.
New York. It has all of the different cultures in one place, and you can, if you want Mexican, you want sushi, you want anything you can imagine of, you can find that in Moscow, and that's like top notch food also. So I was really enjoying that. And then another reason why I went back to Russia was medical. I was doing checkup of my body. Me and Christina, we both went to the hospital for 2 days. Did the full body checkup, which is you know great because I couldn't do it in the U.S. where I would have probably had to pay 30,000-40,000 for what I
Yeah.
did in Russia.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is when you get done with the major win like this? You call home, you call family, you call friends. Who's the phone call outside of the obvious of like Christina and how special she is to you?
Well, I definitely messaged everyone who is really close to me. We can call it my team. My mentors, my family, Christina. Of course, I messaged Johan. Thanked him for coming and supporting me, being in my corner. It meant a lot to me. I think it made a big difference that day. Not being alone. Just being with somebody. Also, I was surprised with how many familiar Russian faces I saw in that place, because a lot of Russians moved to Germany, and they all came to support me and watch the tournament. There was at least 5 or 6 families, and then there was one American family that flew from California to support me. So it was I was not alone, definitely. So that helped.
It makes a big
difference. I saw you high fiving a lot of people. I said, "Where the hell is he playing?" I thought he was playing in Germany. When he was when you were coming down the stairs, it was like
local fans. Them fans, they change. Like they root and they
I'm
they
with
will
him.
be yelling Europe and in between my strokes, but then they'll be giving high fives to me. That's a different fans.
I like it. They were showing love at some point. That's all that matters.
That's right.
Yeah. I think the fans were great. They're well educated. They know when to clap. They were cheering hard, and I think they made the event different. For the location of the tournament, and for knowing the German crowd being a little bit quieter than compared to U.S. or UK, for example. I think they did great.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing that more and more as you go to more of these tournaments. And it seems like more of these events, there's more crowd, there's more activity, there's more excitement, there's more noise. It's not just one tournament anymore. There's a lot of. I mean, you went to Hanoi last year and it blew up. So you're seeing it a lot more as these events get put together. It's got to be a lot of fun for all you guys.
Definitely. It's a lot more fun, and it's a lot more fun to watch. I'm sure it's not just boring a pool played in a quiet room like Euro Tour. It's different now.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when I came to Fulda last year, which is also in my mind is a small town in Germany, and the crowd was unbelievable there. I think the room was sold out for the last 2 or 3 days, and the stands was full, and they were cheering really hard.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to the European Open this year again.
Yeah, you prefer playing in that type of atmosphere, Fedor?
Now, yes. Since I played in it for a year or a couple of years already, so that's something that I do every once in a while, every month, every 2 months. So I already have that experience. So now it's time to enjoy it. It was not enjoyable for the first year, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Really?
No, because it's really tough to perform under pressure. It's a different type of. It's different atmosphere. It's something that you're unaware of. Like you don't know what to expect, and there's a lot more thoughts going through your mind, and it's just something that you have to experience.
That's part of the reason why we got a lot of respect for what you're able to accomplish as well. Because we recognize that, and to see you compose yourself in big moments. And I talked about this yesterday with Mike. It was like the moments in the match where you were, pressing banks and but then whenever you were, pulling back and playing safes, it was like everything was just completely on the pulse. And but you delivered in big spots. That jump cut on the 3-ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the run out, last rack. I mean, it was just so many like that. But then you like what I love, especially, is just seeing all the crowd like that being able to enjoy it, because it's a great moment in sport, not just in pool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the match was really enjoyable to watch. I think those type of matches when the quality isn't as great and it goes like
a lot more tension.
That has a lot more tension, and it's more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. See, on the jump 3-ball, I thought you were going to bank it back up table.
Against Jason, or
where you cut it in?
No, just
it was a pretty thin cut.
Take my chances to swing the cue ball. Cue ball went perfect, so
yeah. Good stuff. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say, so what's next for you, Fedor?
Well, I'm in Scotland already for another ranking event, Scottish Open. Kind of well, at least I thought it would be a warm-up event before going to UK Open, but it looks like the field is even tougher here than at the UK Open, so I don't know if it's considered a warm-up tournament or what, but you look at the field, It's pretty sick.
Everybody's there.
It's insane.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
someone asked Fedor, do you ever go back and watch a match like the final against Josh and see what you can take out of it, or once it's done, is it done?
No. I definitely go and watch, and especially I always remember those mistakes right after the match. That's when usually I do it. I wouldn't go back watch my match against Jason now. I'd do it right after the match to see, what went wrong and if I can fix it right now.
Yeah.
Then I do it.
Okay.
So yes, I definitely go back and watch, and it's something that I suggest. That's part of the process you analyze and learn.
That's interesting. I've heard from a lot of guys saying they don't like going back and rewatching it, reliving it.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of stupid because you cut your hand on the camera, for example.
Yeah.
By yourself, and then the next day you're having a knife in your hand and you're doing the same thing, and you're oh, why am I doing this? Yeah. So it's kind of the same. It doesn't make sense to me because by analyzing mistakes, that's the only way you can grow.
Yeah.
World Pool Championship, Fedor. Mike talked about it earlier. What's your preparation going to be like, and how excited are you looking forward to that tournament?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's something that we never experienced. Well, at least I didn't. I wasn't around at the IPT time or back in the day when tournaments were bigger than they are even today. So I'm looking forward. I've never been to Saudi Arabia. It's a different culture, definitely. I expect it to be quiet in the room because I don't think Saudis, they're cheering loud or they don't allow drinking, so I expect it to be quiet in the room. Definitely no yelling, but there will be a lot of people clapping. That's what I expect.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward. It's a beginning of something bigger. I assume because it's definitely not a one-time thing. I believe Matchroom signed a contract for 5 or 10 years.
10 years, yeah. 10 years.
So I would expect it to only grow from here, and hopefully they come up with not just one tournament a year, but maybe even more.
Yeah. So you did also, not to go off on a downer, but you did also get some, unfortunate news. We saw Christina and Margaret both post about it. The WPA kind of reneging on their promise to send give 3 of you spots in the World Games in 2025. How disappointing was that for you?
Well, I mean, are we really surprised by what WPA do?
No, probably
doing nowadays. Like nobody is getting surprised. I wasn't surprised, and I didn't do any investigations yet. So I need to go back and read that letter. But obviously, it's very sad that we have that in the sport. We qualified in 2020, I believe 2020 or 2020.
It was supposed to be 21. It ended up being run in
21. Yeah. So me, Margaret, Christina, we all qualified for the World Games, and then because of the war, all the Russian athletes were banned, and they were suspended from participating in the World Games in 2021. But we were promised to play in 2025, I believe.
Right.
It was not a handshake deal. I think we also have the letter stating that.
I've seen the letter from Ian, right?
Yeah, from Ian Anderson from WPA that we apologize and we understand that it's not right. In 2025, you will be playing in China. We understand that it's a big thing. It only happens once in 4 years. It's, I mean, for me, it's not that big of a deal because now we have Matchroom. Now we have tournaments every week, every 2 weeks, and I even have to choose tournaments that I go to. For Christine and for Margaret, it's a much bigger deal because they only have WPBA nowadays and Predator tournaments that they have maybe once in a month, once in 2 months, and they only have 5 to 10 tournaments a year that they can play. And World Games is really a big tournament, a big deal for them.
Yeah.
So it really, really stinks for them, and I completely understand their
disappointment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad.
It really is. But like I said, I'm not surprised by any means that WPA did what they did. Like I was done with WPA a long time ago, and I don't have any expectations from that organization anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get in line.
The line's in the back, Mike said.
Yeah. It's a long line of people.
It's kind of it's true, but it's also kind of disheartening and sad as well hearing that.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get too far because like I said, I haven't really.
Yeah. No, I don't want to drag. I don't want to get you throwing people under the bus or slinging mud.
Because
but
maybe
just
it's
a disappointment.
Maybe it's up to a Chinese organization that hosts the tournament, and they told WPA, well, we can't allow that because we had different agreements.
Yeah, they've got a year and a half to make it right if they still want to make it right. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully, hopefully you'll get your opportunity sometime because I know it's a big deal for all the athletes to be able to participate in an event like that. So
definitely. I mean, World Games is. It's an Olympic Games basically for non-Olympic sports.
Right, exactly.
So that's, I mean, for different athletes, it's different. For me, like Mike, you told me, is it big for you going there, not representing your flag or your country? Like it never really meant anything for me personally because I always thought that I played for myself. Maybe it's more of a selfish way to think about it, but we're playing an individual sport, and I think I more represent myself, my personal brand, my personal name when I go out to tournaments.
Okay.
So for me, going to World Games would mean a lot, but not representing country, my home country or some other country, it doesn't
make a big difference to you. Okay.
No.
I'll buy that.
Fedor, what all you got going on today? I think you got a podcast tonight as well.
Yeah, we're doing a podcast on my YouTube channel at 5:30 Eastern. Me, Jason Sword, and Collins. The post up. Basically, we'll be discussing kind of same topics as we did today with you guys, and will be some exciting giveaways that I will be mentioning there.
Ooh, giveaways! I'll be on.
I'm always giving away stuff.
I'll be on there.
Yeah. And also, I mean, today is I just spent time on my phone. I had 3 or 4 calls before the podcast with you guys. I will be getting on the call with Keith right after I'm done with.
Okay, please, thank you.
Mike's just so demanding. Yeah. What does that what does that win for you mean, Fedor? The Whirlpool
Masters.
Yeah.
I mean, it means a lot. It means a lot. Like you said, it's maybe I haven't processed it yet because it's just it's been the same with Whirlpool Championships. I won, then I flew straight to Thailand, and I partied for like 2 weeks, not even realizing what happened. And I came back home like, oh shit, I'm the world champion. Like, what happened? Maybe it's the same thing here. When you go to tournaments back to back, like what happened to me yesterday. I landed in Scotland. I got to the taxi, got back to my room, and decided to take a nap for 15 minutes. Slept for 3.5 hours. Woke up, then went to the nearest restaurant, ate, then went back to sleep. Woke up there. I'm like, what place am I in? Like, what am I even doing? Like everything has to be also structured. Like every day you have to structure. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing in order to prepare the tournament? And also, I'm trying to grow my brand. So I'm spending the whole day today on the phone trying to, structure everything so I don't have to do it in between my matches when I have to play. So after our discussion. Now I know that I'm in Scotland. I came here for Scottish Open. Thank you guys. Yeah, well, maybe that's a good question to ask me in about 2 weeks. What does it mean for me? Because right now it's just something that I still am excited about, and I don't think I understand how big of a win it was yet. It definitely
it's something
was.
that you have to get. It's something that you have to kind of almost get used. This is the new life of the players on the World Nine Ball Tour, is that you don't have a lot of time to, relax and enjoy and celebrate and whatever. You
On
guys
to
are
the next
moving
one.
on to something else, like bang, bang, bang. There's a lot of
No, actually, it makes us more professional. Like we don't, we
yeah,
don't,
no,
we don't need to
exactly,
get hammered. We don't
exactly.
need to get hammered after every win. Like it
I
used to
would.
be like that. I won the world championship. I was partying for 2 weeks. I brought my cup under the water. I was diving. I was high hammered the same exact night. Partying every single day and out. Uh, I'm kind of glad I'm not doing that now. I'm going to the gym, drinking water, and sleeping all day.
Jesus,
That's
you're like
kind of
growing up. You're growing up on us. What the hell?
yeah. I didn't even have a sip of beer. So, but definitely that's something that you need to celebrate wins. You need to enjoy it,
Yeah,
and
you do need to enjoy
definitely
them.
something I'll do. Maybe I didn't do it because I was alone by myself. Traveling by myself right
Yeah,
now. Maybe if I had somebody with me, I would have acted different.
yeah, yeah.
Well, congratulations on a big win, Fedor. Mike, you got anything else before we get out of
No,
here?
no, all good. It was great talking to you. Good luck in Scotland, and good luck at UK Open. We'll see you in Saudi.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
All right, buddy. You guys have a great day.
Well,
Thanks for hanging out with us. And Fedor Gorst, World Pro Master Champion. We'll see you guys soon.